It's an exercise I give to a lot of people. I've had a lot of videos in the past, but we're going to update it with some new content, new ideas. The biggest one is lifting the toes. Lifting the toes keeps us out of the toes, puts our center of gravity back on our heels. That's the goal. So we'll start with the kettlebell, then we'll go through it with a standard barbell. Foundation training is also great for this stuff because it's going to help teach you to stabilize, which is almost more important than the hip hinge itself. For now, we're going to put the bell right along the inside of the opposite knee. Big chest, collarbones are wide, neck is pressing back, pulling the hips behind us. I'll show you this from the other view. Right now, just maybe keep your hand here, trace that down just to the ankle bone, coming back. Another angle. Pulling back. You can see how the hamstring, the glute, getting stretched on our way down as I'm pulling my weight back. Bell is underneath my center of gravity. One important piece is the neck. Don't let the neck do this number. Don't let the butt tuck. Reaching the hip behind us, tracing. Bell along the inside of that leg. We're not going all the way up because I don't want you to lose that hip engagement. We're kind of staying down in the hinge. It's harder to reset that hinge every time. So just tracing up and down keeps that weight in the hinge. Let's look at it with the barbell now. Get your shins right on that barbell. Toes up. Pulling the hips back behind. Get this a little bit over here. Hinging. Chest is still big, neck is long. Reach down for that subtle knee bend. We're not going for a lot. Just a little bit. It's going to keep that tension in the hamstrings. Tracing up along the shins. Here we're going to stay up top. Under the knee. Right on top of the kneecap. Weight's out of the toes, right? Back up. Not even bringing the bar all the way up the quad, maybe mid-quad, because we don't want to lose the hinge, tracing back down, burning the glutes, burning the hamstrings. This is not a lot of weight. You could just do this with an empty bar. Good prep. The intention is what makes it tough. It's not that you're going light, it's just you're working on form. And just because my toes are up doesn't mean I'm losing contact with the balls of my feet. Press the ball, the big toe down. Press the ball, the little toe down. Pull the hips back. Burning in the glutes. Pressing through the balls of the feet. Pressing through the heels to bring you back up. On fire. This is great for the shoulders too. It's going to retrain the breath. The weight pulls us down, helps us engage our lats, helps us not breathe in the shoulders, forces us to breathe into the rib cage, breathe into the lower back, pulling back in the hips. We're getting that stability in the lumbar spine, which means it's not moving. It's not flexing to bring us down right here. See how I rounded, then we lift with that kind of camel hump. That's not what we want. We want to be lifting, those back muscles engaged. Even if you're not doing an RDL, if we're doing a normal kind of deadlift here, see the shift here. Still keeping that engagement. Knees are bent now. A lot of it still applies though. Here's the normal RDL, straight leg. Now we're going all the way down. I'm still holding my weight back. Lifting. We don't want to be doing this number, right? We don't want to flex the spine. Let's get that out of there. We're pulling the hips back. You can be more relaxed with the neck as you go, but for now let the hips lead the way. It's the only thing moving. Your spine is one big iron rod. That's too hard getting all down all the way. Just don't go down all the way. Or put some little yoga blocks so you can just tap those yoga blocks with the weights, come back up. Especially if you're in pain, injure the back, you still want to keep going. Don't want to skip a day. So it's not about going heavy, but you're still going hard. So try that cross motion. That way we're kind of isolating one hip. Kind of feel which hip is a little more sticky. For me, it was this right side, tracing down there. That felt tougher. So that'll help. You can attack one hip, especially if you're gonna be using both hips. You don't want one hip working more than the other, because then the spine's gonna get torsioned, twisted. And that's gonna lead to your issues. Main reason I give someone a deadlift exercise is I'll see these muscles, especially down here by the sacrum. All this thoracolumbar fascia is overstretched. It's inflamed and it's weak, so we want to tone it up, we want to strengthen it. So we want that lumbopelvic stability. That pelvis, that lumbar spine, it's not moving, it's all the hips that are hinging, rotating the sockets. We don't want the butt tucking, we don't want the spine flexing. We want this. And that's controlled with that little toe lift, which is what I like. That little add of that lifting those toes, pressing the balls of the feet down, activates this whole anterior spiral chain, adductors, tibialis posterior, psoas, which help pull us down into the hinge. Then your glutes, your hamstrings are in a stretch position, and we're lifting with the glutes and the hamstrings in that stretch position, which retrains them, which is great for everyday living. So we bend a lot. We bend about 4,000 times a day. So if we're bending, we're tucking the butt, we're using the spine, not going to bother you the first few times, not going to bother you for maybe the first 20 years. But eventually, if you don't train the hips to do the motion, arthritic development in the joints, joint disease, tendonitis in the muscles, all that fascia we were talking about that gets overstretched because it's not doing its job. Joints stiffen. To try to counteract that. So a lot of bad things happening at once, but slowly over time. It's micro trauma. So deadlift, great exercise. Also check out foundation training, because a lot of other exercises take that deadlift hinge, just adding that lat reach, which allows you actually to sink a little bit deeper, get that glute stretch. Nice lat engagement, which helps build length in the spine. Working on the breathing. So check out their stuff. Check out the Founder. Check out the Woodpecker. It's similar to everything we just did here. You can just build it into your weighted exercises to make them more functional and corrective, not just trying to lift more weight and look great, but feel great.